So I just got this message. I got this message, and I wanna share this with y'all about the baby Eshu and the babaluaye. There's no beef between the babaluaye and the baby Eshu, as long as either remember that they are both babus. When one tries to quote unquote grow up and turn into something they're not, that's when they become enemies. And the rivalry is pretty much you know, one of them, they are trying to knock some sense into the other one so they can remember who they are. That's what the rivalry will be about. There's no beef between the babaluaye and the baby Eshu, and it's not the same type of, you know, rivalry that Shango and Ogun have. The rivalry between Shango and Ogun is all about the abuse of power. You know, Shango, he respects his mother. He loves his mother. Ogun, he abused his power, but it was because of ignorance. You know, Shango, he has innocence. Ogun, a lot of the Oguns, they have ignorance. They have an ignorance to their innocence. And when you have an ignorance to your innocence, you forget the power that the divine feminine have. So you abuse it, you know. And that was the whole rivalry between Shango and Ogun. But babaluaye and Eshu, they don't have a beef with each other. But the way they appear in this world are extremely similar, and they both pose the same lesson. So what am I saying? A lot of times Eshu represents the shitty person. Eshu represents the shitty person, and babaluaye represents the dusty person. And Eshu becomes a shitty person when he's not able to stay a babu long enough. Eshu turns into a shitty person when he has to grow up before his time, because his curiosity is always going to lead him to things that most people have a mental block not to do. So this is what always leads Eshu to a life of crime, you know, and being an outlaw. And think about what makes a shitty person. What makes a shitty person? A shitty person is created by a father who was an asshole and a mother who was damaged goods. And when these two things come together, it creates a shitty person. I hate to say it like that. I hate to laugh, but it makes sense. That's why the father don't be there half of the time, because the asshole is sick of the damaged goods, you know, especially in this day and time where the damaged goods are able to masquerade as fresh food. You know, y'all seen them videos where you got people in Walmart with their video cameras showing you that they still have post-dated damaged goods food, and they're still selling it like it's fresh food, and the price not even marked down. Everything is everything. So now this Eshu is created, and he's a shitty person, but it's not necessarily his fault. It's not necessarily his fault that he became a shitty person. He just have a lot of shit on him. So a shitty person, you can smell them from a mile away, because you know they got a lot of that on them. So a shitty person also has a shitty personality. And a lot of people wouldn't want to get close to a shitty person, you know, because their personality is very loud. Just like the smell of doo-doo is very loud, you know. And this in turn makes them feared, you know. And a lot of times Eshus are swallowed up by the soulless beings, because the soulless beings love shitty people, especially shitty people that look at themselves as the shit, because the soulless beings, you know, they can sense the soul that is hidden beneath all the shit, you know. So their plan is to keep them the way they are so they can do their bidding. Now babaluaye, he represents the dusty person. So a dusty person is also a babu, but they were raised up in a very, very impoverished type of background with a very, very impoverished type of family a lot of times. Now, in most cases, you know, the family loves each other, but it's just that they don't have a lot of money. You know, they don't have a lot of the finer things in life and stuff like that. So a lot of times the dusty person, a lot of times he leaves at an early age too, but the intentions are different. A lot of times the dusty person, he leaves at an early age so that he can work hard, so that he can create a better life for, you know, the family that he left behind. And also he wants to build a better life for his family that he wants to make someday. So this dusty person, he works extremely hard. He works so hard that his clothes are tattered. You know, he works so hard that that he don't really take care of himself like he should. And you know, when you see this dusty person, they always look dusty. You know, their clothes are tattered. You know, they got dust all over them because they've been working all day. Now, this person on the inside, you know, we always take a shower before we go to work. And if we take a good shower before we go to work, that means that, yeah, you know, you might be dirty on the outside. You know, your clothes might have a lot of dirt on them, a lot of dust on them. Your hands, you know, you might have a lot of dirt and a lot of dust, but it don't have a bad smell. You know, the only thing, you know, it might be sweating, might smell like salt, you know, body, you know, BO. But for the most part, dusty people, they don't smell dusty. You know, you wouldn't know what their personality is because you don't want to get close enough to them to find out because they're so dusty, you know. And a lot of times, dusty people, you know, just like when you're working so hard and you're sweating, and when that sweat turns into salt, you know, a lot of times dusty people are salty. They're salty because of this, you know, because they know deep down they're not a bad person. You know, they don't smell bad, but people judge dusty people without even taking account their backstory of what made them dusty. You know, just like how people judge shitty people, and they don't even care to consider the backstory of what made that person shitty. But it's one thing about these two people that are alike. And what's alike about them is when they both clean themselves up and put on some nice clothes, you know, sprinkle on some cologne, put that nice watch on, put that nice suit on, you know, or they just clean up. They just clean themselves up, take a shower, you know, put some smell good on. And now this is what makes Babaluaye and Eshu the most loved and the most adored of all the Orisha, you know. But the sad part about it is they were always that. They were always that. It's just that, you know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And we live in a society, and I said this before, we live in a society where we want to judge the messenger so much that the message is not received. And that is the channel message that I got from my inner child, the baby Eshu, and also the Babu Luaye.